people should hear us now.
We're getting hellos.
Love
Hello.
to see it.
Oh, yeah. The stream sure is starting.
It is starting, and it's going to start.
And it's a stream. Did we
now.
mention that?
The mystery is
Wow.
revealed.
You revealed the mystery.
I've revealed it.
We're playing a mystery game.
We're gonna solve a mystery.
I'm tweeting.
And I'm glad you hear us. Do you hear us good?
Oh, I accidentally switched to my Russian keyboard and I don't know how to switch back.
Another mystery.
No! Wait! Help!
You're gonna have to use your deduction skills to figure out the Cyrillic alphabet.
I don't remember putting a Russian keyboard on this iPad. Well,
Okay.
shit.
While you figure that out, should I play Holmes' introduction?
Oh yes, let's introduce people to what we're up to here. Oh, thank God. I figured it out.
I guess the very short of it is Simone and I have enjoyed playing mystery games together, and now we're gonna play a mystery game with y'all. This has been our fun little hobby. We've already played 2 of these F&B games, so enjoy us on the 3rd.
City. Under the soot that covers its buildings is a teeming mass of 4 million souls trying to survive, mostly off of each other. You see it in the paper every day. Thankfully, we have the London Times to keep us informed of all these troubling activities with an unbiased eye and razor-sharp accuracy. We find this publication to be of invaluable assistance in our investigations, and I'm sure you will as well. Among the forces of evil which run rampant in this city, there are also, thankfully, 2 groups of individuals who will aid us in our cause. As we do, they attempt to right wrongs and restore harmony and civility to the streets of London. The first of these groups is a ragtag association of young ruffians. I call them the Baker Street Irregulars. Don't let them fool you.
They're like
They may be
Sherlock
scruffy
Holmes
and ill-bred,
Avengers.
but they are on the
Yeah.
right side of the
What do
law.
they call
They
themselves?
can go everywhere, see everything, and overhear everyone.
We have a
They are my
team
eyes
of
and ears in
experts
the
to help
streets
us.
of London.
A team of
Unquestionably a
orphans.
tremendous
But we
asset
have to
in our
remember,
work.
we get like deducted
They will help us
points
in
for
our
how many
investigations
times
if
we
they
use our
can.
experts. So we gotta be.
The other group is a
So
far more
cautious.
civilized collection of gentlemen and institutions. I call them
Gentlemen
Street
the
urchins.
Baker Street Regulars. They too will be extremely useful in our work. At the start of any
Sorry, we
investigation,
We
do
wanted to
keep in
keep this a
mind that it
mystery,
is
but you should
capital
have
mistake to
a
theorize
notepad
before one has
and a
data.
cup of tea.
Unwittingly, one begins to twist facts to suit theories.
Or coffee.
Instead
Or
of
coffee.
theories to
We
suit
have our
I should have
notepads
made
ready.
tea. I'm stupid.
The people and places to whom I will now introduce you will help us to collect the facts. May we use them wisely.
Indeed.
Now, the game's afoot.
The game's afoot. Here we go.
So Clayton and I played the first 2 of these games last winter, and they are stunning in that the budget that was used to create them and the acting choices that went into them never cease to amaze. It has some of the most incredible green screen work
Yes.
that I've ever seen.
We've gotten through the mystery. I think the first one in like 2.5-ish hours. We had some trouble trying to explain to the judge what our conclusions were.
Yeah.
But we did the second puzzle in like an hour and a half. So we'll see how long this one takes us.
The second one, I remember there was a point where I we had kind of reached an impasse, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go refill my tea or something, and I walked to the kitchen and was struck by a bolt of prophecy from the heavens, and I remember running back in and being like, Clayton, it's this.
Eureka! Watson, I've got it.
Also, chat needs to weigh in on whether or not any of these actors are actually English, I think.
Yes. So I think we're gonna have our
first scene.
Initiating occurrence.
What rubbish! What balderdash!
You must have read something terribly disturbing, Watson, for you to be so overwrought this early in the morning.
Indeed, Holmes. It's irresponsible of the Times to play upon people's superstitions.
Ah, You must be referring to the affair of the mummy's curse.
The entire city in an uproar. 3 men dead, and they expect us to believe that a 4,000-year-old mummy was the murderer. I'm surprised you haven't taken some interest in this case, Holmes.
To the contrary, my dear Watson. I have made some inquiries. Because I dare say I do believe this murderer is a much younger chap.
All right, so 3 victims
Less than
so far.
4,000 years. That's what we have so far.
So we're looking for a murderer who is younger than 4,000 years old.
1 to 3,999 years.
Okay, that helps.
So this is what we have. Mostly what we're going to be doing is... It's the directory, right? No, wait.
Yeah, so these are all the people and places we can visit. And then
There's a
the
whole
notebook
bunch of
is where records of like our investigation are kept. When we're done, we go to the judge and we say what happened or what we think happened.
And we can also peruse some newspapers.
Yes, which I think I know it's like not good stream, but again, this is Clayton and I's takeover.
Yes.
So I do think let's start with the directory just to give people some more scenes. But I am going to painstakingly read every single article in those newspapers.
Yes.
And no one can stop me.
And what's great about them is sometimes it's very helpful clues, and other times it's literally red herrings that will throw you down the wrong path, and they have nothing to do with the solution. Okay.
So
I mean, should we check the newspaper since he was just talking about the newspaper? He was harumphing about it.
He was harumphing, but I feel like we should visit the coroner.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that on a regular?
I think. Wait, search Holmes's files because I think that's where the names of all the people are.
But I can't.
It's
click
been a
that.
while since we've. Oh, you can't click that. Oh dear. Oh, okay. No, it's these people. Let's visit Inspector Lestrade.
Inspector Lestrade. There we go. So we're going to start with an irregular. Okay.
Or no.
So this is send the detectives. I think we go to them. Send the detectives. Send the irregulars as they go out and do something for us.
Yeah.
But we're going to go talk to the inspector.
Oui.
All right.
Okay.
Well, well. If it isn't Mr. Sherlock Holmes, London's most overly praised amateur sleuth, needing the help of the yard again.
Are you going to stand for that, Holmes?
Let's just see who proceeds to solve this case, Watson. Inspector Lestrade, my good man, I'm looking into the cause of James Windibank's death.
I should have known.
James Windibank.
That murder has brought out every crank in the city. I think the professional police can wrap this one up.
All the same, could you tell us what you've discovered to date?
One dead archaeologist, no suspect, no motive.
And what of Andrew Weatherby's
So
death?
nothing.
Have you looked into that?
I have talked to Captain Ramsey, but we have no leads. Look, I'm not even sure that Weatherby's murder falls into our jurisdiction. And if it doesn't, you're not going to find me worrying about it. As it is, I have enough murders to take care of.
Okay, so sorry, what was the name of the first name of the Weatherby guy?
James Windibank.
Windibanks, and then someone Weatherby.
Andrew Weatherby.
Andrew. Okay. So a Captain Ramsey. So in the directory, then we have now 3 leads that we could follow. We could find the Windibanks family, probably visit the Archaeological Society if we needed to, or talk to the Weatherby family or Captain Ramsey as well.
Let's go. I'm curious about why he thinks it's not in our jurisdiction. So let's talk to Captain Ramsey.
Yeah. Super rude.
Herman Ramsey.
Perfect. After perusing the Times, Holmes is convinced Mr. Ramsey has information valuable to the case. He gathers his coat and hat and catches a carriage to the home of the man. I'm doing accents just as good as the actors in this game.
Storm, so I sent my
Oh,
first
look at this
officer,
guy.
Luther Tenney, down into the hold to check
love
on the
the
condition
suit.
of the cargo. He reported back post-haste that Mr. Weatherby was lying dead among the Egyptian artifacts we were transporting. I turned over the helm to Tenney and went below to have a look for myself.
And did what you see confirm Teddy's report?
Unfortunately, yes. Weatherby was lying next to that coffin, or whatever it's called, apparently strangled. I went back to the bridge and put Tenney in charge of the investigation.
And what did he uncover?
Well, you'll have to ask him for the specifics, because I can scarcely recall the details.
Okay, so Ramsey died on the ship, in the hold of the ship, apparently strangled, and Luther Tenney was the first person to find the body.
And who did he point? Sorry, who did he point to look over into it?
Luther Tenney.
Luther Tenney. Okay.
I think, yeah. After he went back up to the bridge. Exciting!
Exciting. I'm gonna turn on
Jaloshin
one of my
says,
little lights.
clearly American Colonel Mustard.
Yeah, basically.
Also, I saw somebody say that the guy who plays Watson sounds like he's from Maryland.
Okay.
Yes, job archaeologist. Thank you, Archer's Twitch corner. Windibank and Weatherby. Yeah, that is going to be confusing for us.
Okay. Windibank and Weatherby. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of leads. What do we want to keep pulling on?
Okay, so there's several leads here. Let's go talk to Tenny, I think. Chad, do you want to talk to Tenny and see what he remembers about finding the body and or the condition of it? We'll see. I'll give it a moment for catch up. And then there's also, as other potential future follows, I think the British Museum and I don't know, maybe there's an archaeology club.
Yeah, I definitely want to look into that. But I think right now we can look into.
I'm feeling Tenny. Yeah, good idea.
Send the detectives. All right.
Do you want to read it?
All right. Watson hails a hansom cab. A hansom cab?
That's what they're called.
And Holmes follows his friend. On their way to Tinney's address, Holmes shares his thoughts with the good doctor on the case thus far. Ooh, we get a little summary.
Let me tell you, a murder, even by a 4,000-year-old mummy, was only one odd thing in a string of bad luck on this voyage.
What sort of bad luck?
It all started with the crew, really. Seamen are a rather superstitious lot to begin with, and the idea carrying about a 4,000-year-old mummy had them shivering in their timbers. We almost faced a bloody mutiny. And there were the passengers, a strange lot. I can tell you that reporter fellow, Travis, did us no service at all with his mystic mumbo-jumbo. He and Professor Windibank had a regular war of words going on about whatever powers this mummy was supposed to have. And there was the two Arabs.
Arabs? Interesting. Do you recall their names?
I should hope I do. One was called Farmy. He always carried around this curious little box. No clue what was in it, but Farmy never let it out of his sight. The other one's name was Al Sard, and he spent most of his time lurking about watching Farmy. My guess is he wanted that box.
Sounds like you had your hands full.
I haven't even told you about the fight yet between Mr. Weatherby and Mr. Arubaru.
Over what?
Weatherby's wife,
What in
I'd
the
say
world?
that they were
There's a lot going on here.
I
Okay.
see. Tell me, Lieutenant, we understand that you were the first person to discover the body.
So Weatherby
Sir,
got in
I
a
was.
fight about something.
Captain Ramsey sent me down to inspect the hold. I went immediately over to them Egyptian crates. Professor Windibank was particularly anxious about him, you know.
Could you describe the scene as you remember?
Love track.
I'll never forget it. I just made my way to the back of the hold, and I noticed at the top of them crates, the one what carried the mummy's coffin was raised up kind of funny like.
So British of you.
Coffin lids laid off to one side, and there was Mr. Weatherby all sprawled on the floor next to a bowl of ashes.
Bowl of
Been
ashes.
strangled by a length of the mummy's sheeting.
What?
Bloody gruesome, I tell you.
Did he say sheet or
Both
shoe?
sides popped out
It
like
was sheet. It
a
was
couple
like,
of
you know,
sausages
the,
in
the
a
mummy
hot skin.
wrappings.
Quite a vivid picture, don't you agree, Holmes?
Right. And you reported this to Captain Ramsey straight away.
Absolutely.
Obra Dinn was a good
In fact,
game.
the captain put me in charge
Yeah.
of the entire investigation.
And what did you discover? Did anybody have any contact with Weatherby on the night of the murder?
Not that I know of. I could account for all the crew. The passengers were in their cabins as far as anyone knew or would say. Nobody saw anything, heard anything, or knew anything. Besides, Weatherby was seasick from the beginning. He stayed pretty much in his cabin all the time.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's why the lovely young Mrs. Weatherby was gallivanting about.
With Uruburu?
Yes, indeed.
We gotta
And
talk
what's the
to
bowl?
her.
Where is it now?
Bowl.
With the ashes.
Oh, yes. You know, now that you mention it, I don't recall ever seeing it again.
Okay.
Wow.
That guy has never even been to England, first of all.
No,
he is from Georgia, I think. Questionable representation in this here 1990s video game.
Imagine.
Here's my thought. I think that somebody was hiding inside the sarcophagus.
Whoa.
Yes.
That is a good point, since as far as we know, everybody was in their cabins.
Yes.
Even though he said that with he said that in a way that was like, they're totally not in their cabins, but they all say they were. No one's saying anything. Okay.
Bowl with ashes, gone. Says Archer's Twitch Corner. The mummy's Converses. Yeah, the mummy's shoes. Sorry, but why would a 4,000-year-old shroud? I do hope that this comes up, because I don't think you can strangle someone with a 4,000-year-old shroud.
It would disintegrate.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I got from that. Yes, so there's an annoying reporter named Travis who's superstitious and fought with Windibanks. Two guys named Fahmy and Al-Sad. Fahmy had a box, and Al-Sad was always looking at him and thinking, maybe I want that box. Maybe. Chat says that they're boyfriends. That's probably true. There's a bowl of ashes next to Weatherby's corpse. Passengers were supposedly in their cabins. Weatherby got in a fight with Uruburu over Weatherby's wife.
Yes.
Is it a coincidence that Windibanks and Weatherby are both W's? I wonder if we can find... It might be newspaper time.
Also, Weatherby was seasick most of the time. I don't know if you said that.
Oh, yes, I didn't say that. And that surprised me, because Was he an archaeologist? Do we know?
Weatherby, I think Weatherby... No, it might have been Windibank.
Windibank was definitely an archaeologist. Chat, do you remember if Weatherby was also an archaeologist? Clavis Fornia says, strangling technology was much better 4,000 years ago, not like today's shoddy strangling fabrics. So, that's a good point.
Okay.
And Non-Lena, yes, this is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective.
All right,
so... somebody in chat recommended we read these out loud in a fun way, but we should scan them before we read them to make sure that none of them are racist. The first one looks... Do you want to go?
No.
All right, I'll read the, let's see, letters to the editor of the Times. Sir, with regard... No,
sorry.
Scrolling.
I forgot I'm reading it for you.
To the recent mummy murders, I would like to suggest that we abandon our attempts to disturb the ancients in their graves or otherwise. This applies not only to such excavations as have become so common in Egypt, Morocco, and other foreign lands, but also to such projects in our own British Isles. If the hypotheses of such men as James Ferguson, who believes that Stonehenge is the ancient sepulchral monument of the Saxon Druids, are true, we should leave these burial grounds undisturbed. Surely if these murders are the work of some present-day mortal human, the police will discover his identity and bring him to justice. I do sincerely believe, however, that we should not meddle in the magic and sorcery of which we know not, for we have not the means to control the forces thus unleashed. Respectfully yours, J.A. Merton.
Let's talk to this J.A. Merton guy. I like his ideas.
He's got good
Leave
thoughts.
the dead alone.
Yes. Take me down to deaths. Ooh, actually, okay, marriages is also interesting, but okay, deaths. On the 27th March at Hong Kong, of fever, Edmund Norton White of Sheffield, age 29, Australian papers, please copy. There are a lot of W deaths on the 9th. Instantly? No. What does INST stand for in this instance? After a long illness at 3 Tyre White Road, Brockley, the beloved wife of Joseph Whitfield, on the 10th April at Deer from an accident whilst bathing. Rest William Flint, town clerk of the city of Canterbury, aged 49. Mummy strikes again.
Ooh.
The body of James Windibank was discovered late yesterday in the room he was preparing for the British Museum. Aha, I knew we should visit the British Museum. This exhibit of newly discovered artifacts from the tomb of Cuthbert's mummy. The archaeologist was found strangled. Around his neck were linen bandages of the type used by the ancient Egyptians in wrapping mummies. Windibank's is the third murder to be associated with the mummy in the past 6 weeks. The archaeologist had accompanied the London University-sponsored expedition expedition to Egypt. The project has been cursed with ill luck since the first discovery of the tomb several months ago. Its organizer, Dr. Ebenezer Turnbull, someone we should visit, was murdered in the actual tomb itself in early March. Another archaeologist... Oh, he's dead.
We
so
can't visit him, but yeah,
unless
whoever survived.
Occult activities. Another archaeologist, Andrew Weatherby, met a similar fate on board the ship returning to England just last week. The Jardine ship, Eastern Empress, was the scene of that mysterious death. The shipboard investigation was handled by Captain Herman Ramsey and his first officer, Luther Tenney. Scotland Yard has declined to name any suspects. Yes, go on.
I definitely am suspicious of Herman Ramsey and Luther Tenney, just because they are the ones on the boat and could easily cover up a lot of shenanigans.
Yes. And also, if they are in charge of the boat, they were perhaps transporting illicit substances and using the crates that the artifacts were in to move drugs and or humans, which perhaps the archaeologists discovered. Although, here's another question. Why was Weatherby down in the hold looking at the artifacts in the crates anyway? Because if he was seasick the whole time, maybe he was meeting someone down there, maybe he was trying to steal something from the crates and was discovered, or maybe discovered something shady in there and then somebody had to kill him to cover it up. A lot going on there.
Yeah, I feel like the love triangles are meant to be the obvious thing that would lead to a murder, but it's these games, these mysteries, they're always something trickier than that.
You always got to go
There's some hypnotism in there or something, something we're not seeing yet.
There's always hypnotism.
There's always hypnotism. Okay, do we want to talk to some more people or keep browsing newspapers?
Yeah, let's actually. Sorry, can I read the rest of the right-hand column of that newspaper? I just want to skim. That's bullshit. Go down to latest shipping, please. Okay. This is interesting. Lloyd's agent at Malta telegraphs that the British steamer Mary Thomas from Sebastopol for Rotterdam is reported aground at Reef. The steamer Lady Armstrong is reported by telegraph from Havre to have been in collision with the French steamer Vieux d'Honfleur, lying alongside the quay. The latter sunk a few minutes after the collision. The telegram. Okay, interesting. Go down to foreign arrivals, please. Just want to skim. Okay, skim. Further down. Coffin of Alexander the Great. Fatal accident. Okay, bullshit. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for your patience.
So that was the most recent one. But we know there's been 3 murders. So we can come back to the newspapers. We know the earlier ones are going to be here.
Let's visit some families. Do you think? Actually, you choose who to visit next.
Yeah, I want us to let's keep up Weatherby's and kind of figure out that situation. So I'm assuming Andrew Calissa are probably like children, and Shelley is wife, but that's my guess.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh wait, no, Andrew and Clarissa would be his wife because he was Andrew Weatherby.
You're right, he was. Okay, let's start there.
And Weathersby is somebody different. Weatherby, Watson asks as Holmes reaches for his deerstalker hat. The great detective reminds the good doctor of the articles in the paper and the unfortunate demise of Andrew Weatherby. I love games. Let's do it.
I'm very sorry to intrude on you in your moment of grief.
Oh, that's quite all right. You know, Andrew and I hadn't been married very long.
Long enough to know if he had any enemies?
Oh, Andrew was so unassuming. Everyone liked him.
Including Mr. Urubaru?
I really loved my husband.
I'm sure you did. Oh, English toffee. My favorite.
Would you like one?
Please.
Sorry, you'll have to open this yourself. I've never been any good with these things.
What?
Okay. So, I have to imagine that detail was to be like this. She couldn't strangle someone.
Yes, she's. Sorry, comments from chat. Chutney68 says, "I love my husband and New Hampshire, where I'm from." No, and Lena says, "Not any good with tins." What?
Not any good with tins. Okay.
Lady Jim Rockford. It's not a pickle jar.
That's the data we have on her is cannot open tins.
Okay, so she couldn't open a sarcophagus. She can't open a tin of English toffee. She probably couldn't strangle someone.
Yes.
One more loss for feminism, says Yarna Variadne. Oh my god. All right. So that was kind of a dead end.
That was. Well, I want to follow up on this storyline and go to the Uruburu guy.
All right. Let's brace
Ururubu.
ourselves and pray that this isn't gonna be questionable.
The good doctor receives.
Oh, go ahead.
I figure we can trade off.
Yeah.
The good doctor receives a telegram summoning him to the home of one of his patients. Holmes hails a carriage and proceeds to Mr. Uruburu's home in the hopes of a clue or two.
Clue or
If
two?
this is an inconvenient time, perhaps I could come back, Mr. Uruburu.
I wouldn't hear of it. Just a bit of a hangover.
What a jacket.
I've weathered plenty worse than this.
I'm investigating the death of Andrew Weatherby. You were on the ship with him out of Cairo. Did you happen to make his acquaintance?
Weatherby, a most tedious fellow.
So tedious, one might want to do him in.
Don't be preposterous. In my condition, I couldn't have done anything of the sort.
What condition was that?
And I thought you were a great detective.
Ooh.
The first night out, a few of us threw a bit of a bash that went on until we docked in London.
Did Mrs. Weatherby attend this particular bash?
She was the guest of honor, you might say.
I'm
Whoa.
sorry.
Whoa.
Hey, chat. Were they?
Was it an orgy?
What did that? Do we have a? Jay Heidi says this guy is my gender. Kangaroo says, did he fuck his wife? Yes.
The mystery is solved.
I'm just gonna write orgy ? Next to that guy. Okay, so
We
that
didn't
was
get much from it,
interesting.
though. Yeah.
No, we got nothing. We're kind of at a dead end, and we're gonna have so few points. How do you feel about investigating the Turnbull situation? The
Sure.
first guy who died in the
Should we
tomb.
try to read the newspaper first? Get that
Oh,
context?
sure. Yeah. Archer's Twitch corner says, "Did you fuck my wife, Mr. Uruburu?" Cucked to death. It says, "Who hates me?" That guy was attractive, though. I really liked his mustache and his jacket.
He had a great jacket. Didn't look period authentic, but what do I know?
No.
So I don't see, scanning this, I don't see the...
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either. Live ostriches. Now, hang on.
Like this right here is outrage about a recent discovery. The Earl of... Oh, this is helpful. The Earl of Downey is a expert in Egyptian studies. Gonna keep that in case we need an expert.
I'll write that down.
But I don't think
Earl
this
of-
earliest newspaper actually... I think this might be before.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to the next one. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Excellent.
Do you want to read, or do you want to read this one?
Sure. Sorry. No smoke fire. Also, the implication that his condition was fucked too hard. He still has a hangover. Okay, recent excavations. What voice should I do, Clayton? Do you want me to do a fun voice? Or should I just like a normal person?
I guess it's like a reporter voice, isn't it?
Oh, should I do like my 1930s reporter voice?
Oh God, yes.
Okay. Recent excavations in Egypt. At the London University College on Wednesday afternoon, before an appreciative audience, Dr. Ebenezer Turnbull delivered a lecture which dealt with the history of the excavations and the method by which they may most profitably be conducted. Dr. Turnbull and the archaeologist James Windibank and Andrew Weatherby are embarking this week on a new Egyptian expedition, excavating Ketebet's tomb at the head of the Valley of the Kings near Karnak and Luxor.
This is perfect.
Saturday's lecture.
You just need
Yes?
to add little words in between. It's like stunning discovery.
Start. Yes. Breaking. Read all about it. Saturday's lecture was illustrated by photographs thrown on a screen by the incredible electric light, which showed vividly and distinctly not only the work done at its various stages, but the modus operandi, the conditions under which the work of this character must be carried on, and the instruments necessary for the purpose, and enabled those present to realize that in a classical study, what the fuck is this long sentence? That in classical study, as in the sciences, there is an ample field of experiment and discovery open to the individual. Dr. Turnbull prefaced his lecture by an explanation of these real objects of the excavations. So what? Who wrote this?
Not a report.
These days. Whatever might have given the first stimulus to such efforts, the primary motive was certainly not to find and keep treasure any more than it was the aim of the astronomer to possess a star. The modern archaeologist was as little to be confounded with the treasure seeker as the mineralogist was with the gold miner. His aim must be to restore to life the monuments of bygone times, to bring vividly before us the various phases of ancient societies, whether civilized and uncivilized. Oof. Lions murdered in Hyde Park?
Whoa. So wait, I'm trying to figure out. He gave
a lecture.
His lecture was about how important it is to take these things from other countries and put them in our museum.
We gotta take these things. We've gotta put them in the museum. We're not looting.
We're not. It's not the
gold
same
miners.
thing.
We're like mineralogists.
Yes.
No useful marriages, no useful deaths.
And this is still
two
before...
lions murdered in Hyde Park. Law notices, nothing. Mysterious death.
Ooh.
Mysterious death and an accident on the docks, but that seems to be... Extra! Shortly after 9 o'clock this morning, the body of Stephen Lyons was found lying in St. George's Road, Southwark. A short time previously, the deceased, a first officer for the Aberdeen shipping, was seen being led in the direction where the body was found by 2 women and a man. The body had been robbed, even 2 gold earrings, which the man had been observed to have been wearing. 2 women of ill fame and a man described as a laborer, but known to be the associate of bad characters, have been taken into custody on suspicion of having caused the sailor's death. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
The sentences are so long. There were no wounds on the body, and it is supposed to be an overdose, supposed that an overdose of some drug had been administered. So that's not useful. They just robbed him for his gold earrings.
Okay.
Bullshit.
I think we're just going to have to look at the last newspaper, and then if nothing's there, we're going to go talk to Turnbull. There we go.
Births.
Archaeologist dead.
Karnak, May 4th. I gotta do a different voice.
I can do this one if you...
Please do it. Please do
it. Murder in Mummy's Tomb. Professor Ebenezer Turnbull, organizer of the Katabet Tomb Expedition, was found dead in the tomb earlier this morning. The inner chamber was reached early in the year after much difficult labor, and the archaeologists were quite ecstatic over the excellent condition of the sarcophagus. Chamber artifacts...
Can I just read that one in a different voice really quick?
Yes.
The inner chamber was reached early in the year after much difficult labor, and the archaeologists were quite ecstatic over the excellent condition of the sarcophagus.
Okay.
All right, continue.
It could be an unboxing video. And now we're going to pull out the sarcophagus. It's in excellent condition. The party was in the final weeks of its work in the area when disaster struck. Mr. Turnbull had worked late into the night, remaining in the chamber alone after other members of the party had retired for the night. His body was discovered by Mr. Andrew Weatherby, another of the project archaeologists. Mr. Turnbull had been strangled to death. Ancient linen bandages were found around his neck. Upon hearing of the professor's death, several of the natives working on the excavation called upon Isis and Osiris for protection and for forgiveness for disturbing the sacred tomb. Inscriptions found on the canopic jars and doors indicate that this death may be the mysterious work of the ancient god Tuamatuef and his goddess.
Sure it is.
Tuamatuef? I'm probably not pronouncing that right.
I think that they made that one up. Oh. The letter to the editor is about a journalist having died. Maybe that's not useful.
That's not Stevens. Unless Mr. Phillimore, that's Stephen Phillimore.
Nah.
But, because the journalist, we only got the name, like the first name of. I'm pretty sure it was...
Travis. I think we got the last name.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah, Travis, reporter.
Okay, so this tells us, this
he
professor's
was also,
dead.
Yeah, found
So
with
let's see what other
bandages.
Ebenezers there are, or Turnbulls there are.
Yeah, either Turnbulls or Travises.
Turnbulls or Travises, okay. So we can just go to his house.
Turnbulls and Travises is the name of my bar.
Just see what's there?
Yeah, let's do it. Ironically, the doctor isn't feeling well, so Holmes decides to pay a visit to the home of the late Ebenezer Turnbull by himself.
Dr. Turnbull, he was a strange one, he was. Hardly ever at home, always traipsing about a Lord knows where.
May I take a look at his things?
Oh, suit yourself. All he had is a big pile of books about Egyptian mummies and a few maps. He was a son of an earl, he was. Though you hardly tell from looking at him, poor fellow. Do you really think this mummy thing's what's done him in? Creepy, I says.
Is he son of the Earl of Downey?
Ooh, Clayton, you genius!
Because then they're both. It's generations of people looting the Egyptian archaeology.
Yeah. Hold on to that thought. Someone in chat, Archer's Twitch Corner says, so Weatherby discovered Turnbull's body and was the next to die after him, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, I believe that's correct. So Turnbull died in the tomb, Weatherby died on the boat, and then Windibanks died here, and we haven't visited his home yet. So I think it is. But then Tenny didn't die, even though he discovered Weatherby's body. So there is kind of a chain happening. Let's see. Crazybot, when we send the irregulars, we don't get to see the scene. They just go and like investigate it for us, which is kind of a bummer. And yes,
It was a strange one, he was. All he ever
This is the same clip, right?
Traipsing about
yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay. I wasn't sure of it. So
okay,
then we just go to the Earl?
Yeah, let's try it. Let's follow that lead.
Okay, Downey, Earl of Downey.
I'm curious.
Wait.
Maybe we can't.
Did I write that down? It was D. Earl of something. D. Yeah, not here.
Yeah. What if he's at the British Museum?
That's probably good enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
British Museum.
Also, didn't he also die?
I don't think the Earl did. I think he just wrote a letter that he was mad about something.
Chutney 68
was found in the
Oh, I could pause it.
Oh! No, it's just funny. Chutney 68 says, please visit Edward Clowns.
Okay.
If you all behave, we'll go visit the clowns.
Yeah.
All right.
Inside it, precisely. One of the guards, Henry Witherspoon, discovered it
Witherspoon?
making his rounds. He noticed that the lid was askew and a hand was sticking out of it.
Spooky.
By the look on his face when he came to summons me, he must have thought that the mummy was attempting to leave its resting place. Some of the guards have been a bit on edge, you know, since the stories about Dr. Turnbull's death.
What happened when you arrived at the scene?
Witherspoon assisted me in removing the lid. There was the body of James Windibank. Around his neck was a bandage of linen.
And the mummy was missing?
No, it was in there too. Underneath poor Windibank, completely undisturbed, not a length of its sheeting unraveled.
Who had access to the exhibit room?
Well, the room was officially closed yesterday while we set up the exhibit. But the museum was open and we took no extraordinary precautions to keep people out.
Can you think of anyone who might have wanted to kill Windibank?
None at all. I actually didn't know him very well. He did work for the museum, you see. He was with the London University. The university and the museum were joint sponsors of the Ketterbeck expedition.
Mr. Johnson, can you think of anything whatsoever that might shed some light on this affair?
No. I'm very sorry. I can't think of a thing. I only hope that all this publicity doesn't keep people away from the exhibit.
No.
Some good green screening there.
That was
Yeah, I'm just
I
gonna
also
pause it.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Truly excellent.
Very good matting.
Crisp. Evocative lighting. They truly just had like 2 sets for this game that are like various Victorian living rooms, and then everything else they have to green screen
and stand in front of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
You get the sense the sets are not big because of some of the angles they have to use and how like the characters will be standing right next to someone sitting in a chair.
Yeah, like our faces are 2 feet away from each other. Okay, so
we could go to the London College or London
Gold
University.
Stars, I'm pretty sure the linen that was used to strangle them is new, and that people are just, the murderers just using it for thematic
drama,
relevance, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Any theories? Clavis Fornia says, historically speaking, most of British history was just green screens and CGI. Yeah, do you want to do London University?
Yeah, that's a lead we have.
Sure. I think it's your turn.
Watson states the obvious when he recommends a trip to the Egyptology department is in order. Holmes commends the good doctor and ushers him out of the door into the fading sunlight. And also tells him not to be such a wise ass.
Such a tragedy. Fine men all and such outstanding scholars. I still can't quite get over the shock of it.
We understand.
Professor, we're looking for background information on these three men so that we can understand how their murders might tie together.
Well, let me begin with Dr. Turnbull.
Okay.
Ebenezer Turnbull was responsible for organizing the Carteret expedition. Quite a remarkable man, really. This was the first time he teamed up with James Windibank. Professor Windibank was one of our most popular lecturers. In fact, several of his former students were also eager to accompany him. I recall him saying that he was having difficulty choosing. Weatherby turned out to be the lucky one. Though it seems far from it now, doesn't it? I suppose Smith and Travis turned out to be the lucky ones after all.
Smith and Travis?
Peter Smith accepted the invitation to join another expedition. As for Philip Travis, he was quite keen on accompanying Professor Windibank. In fact, he became exceedingly upset when Andrew Weatherby, a postgraduate student in the department, was chosen instead. Took it rather personally, I should say.
Okay,
and Travis is also the reporter, right?
Yes. Who managed to go anyway, it seems like? Or something. He was on the boat. Yeah, we got a motive.
Squid Vorb says, door sign made in MS Word. Yeah, that font. That was not a Victorian font. Okay. Yeah, let's visit. Okay, somebody in chat brought up Witherspoon, the guy who found Windibank's body. Archer's Twitch Corner brought this up. Maybe we should check on him.
Yeah, we have some stuff we definitely want to come back to here. Like Travis, we definitely got to talk to Travis. And honestly, Peter Smith. Like, that's interesting that he didn't get to go on this expedition, but may have wanted to.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
And he found his own expedition.
Shit, what was the guy's name again? Witherspoon. Another W.
Yeah. Which is why I'm suspicious.
Oh,
like, they had to have done that. Oh.
Was that his first name?
It couldn't have been. Huh. Did we visit... Oh, sorry, can you go to that next page really quick? Interesting. Did we visit Windibank's house? Because I saw his name on that list as well. We could talk to his maid.
James Windibank?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just see. Armed with information he had discovered both in the Times and conversations with reliable sources, Holmes sets out alone in hopes of a revelatory conversation with Windibank's widow.
James was so thrilled when Dr. Turnbull invited him to join the expedition. He felt he'd spent his entire life reading books about archaeology, and now was finally getting an opportunity to go out into the field.
Tell me, Mrs. Windibank, when your husband returned, did he discuss the deaths of his colleagues?
Of course. James was extremely upset. Yeah. I know he did not believe it.
Is the chair she's in real? I don't think it is.
My husband was a man of science.
Okay, so that was useless. Let's visit Travis.
Do we have his last name? Oh, the last name is Travis. Okay.
Yeah, I think everyone goes by their last names.
Yeah. Holmes decides to travel to Mr. Travis's home, alone, leaving Watson in the company of Miss Hudson and her apple cranberry cakes.
Oh, I'm jealous. I want those.
So you've been reading my articles in the Times. I'm honored. What do you think of them?
Quite interesting. You've clearly been following the murders quite closely. Who do you suspect?
I believe it is the work of the ancient Egyptian god Pumatef and his goddess Neith.
Be serious.
I couldn't be more serious. You see, Mr. Holmes, although I am a journalist, I was actually trained as an Egyptologist. I know all about these mysteries. That's why my articles carry the force of truth.
And what is the truth, Mr. Travis?
The truth is that the Egyptians discovered the secret of life. What we call science is mere child's play compared to the knowledge they had. Look at this. Do you know what this is?
Appears to be a mummified animal of some sort. A monkey, perhaps?
Precisely.
Quite a conversation piece.
I've been using it in some very important experiments which, if successful, will unlock the secret to bringing back the souls of the dead.
No.
I've been working on it, Mr. Holmes, using these tanner leaves. Watch.
Bowl of ashes, bowl of ashes, bowl of ashes!
Interesting.
Uma Lotus. Licantina.
No.
Burra.
It appears that the soul of this particular monkey has no intention of making a
This is
reappearance.
It's only a matter
the
of time.
actor
I
playing
know it
Sherlock
is.
Holmes. This is his
After all,
best
these secrets have
acting.
been buried for thousands of years. These things don't
Yeah,
happen overnight.
he's peeking.
But it will happen someday. This is my mission.
I believe I'll leave you to your work, Mr. Travis.
Don't go yet. Let me show you more.
Thank you. Some other time, perhaps.
He's
Okay. Go on.
He really, he was authentically weirded out by this guy.
Really good.
Just gonna pause it.
So you.
Okay.
We've got some interesting. All right, let me catch up on chat here. Jerk Pit River says, so the actor for Watson wasn't available on one of the shooting days, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yegs Sarva says, called shot, the journalist did it. Such a normal guy, says Non-Lena. Who Hates Me says the actor has been waiting his entire life to be in an FMV and putting his everything into it. Yeah, this is so the Bowl of Ashes definitely that I'm calling Tanaleaf. I think maybe he was down there doing an experiment to try to resurrect the mummy, and
But
Weatherby
unrelated.
caught him.
It might have been unrelated. Yeah. Oh, you're caught him or something.
It could have been unrelated, though. You raise a good point.
It puts him at the scene of the crime, but we don't know when it puts him there, so it could have been beforehand.
Winter Soulpur says this guy can't have done it. He's too weird.
But
that's it. Yeah,
we're trying not to spoil the other things in this, but again, hypnosis. Hypnosis is a solution to these murders before. So,
yeah.
There can be weird stuff. I wouldn't say there's probably magic, literally, but
yeah.
Don't write off his weirdness as being a reason he couldn't have done it.
Do you want to talk to...
Wait, are people saying it's Bill Corbett from MST? Wait, really?
Is that really?
Hold on.
I'm going to run to the bathroom really quick.
Okay.
I will be right back.
Here, I'll just put us on a little hold screen, but we'll be right back.
Okay. Hello. Let's see.
So we left off Bill Corbett. That is him.
That is? Ha!
Yes. At least according to IMDb. Okay, so where do we go from here?
We have Smith, who's the other archaeologist, the student who didn't get to go, but who did go on a different trip. The Earl of Downey is a question mark. There's probably, I mean, maybe it's not him, but maybe there's another place that he would be that isn't like
right.
under his name, like the Gentleman's Club or something. It's not called the Gentleman's Club. And then unfortunately, we also have the 2 Arab characters who were like going back and forth over the box.
Right. Okay.
Which is a question mark.
Okay. So, well, I guess we'll do Peter Smith, and then we'll check into those 2.
Let's do it. MCATS 1, this game is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, The Mummy's Curse. Having heard Mr. Smith's name from Henry Ellis, Holmes travels to the man's residence, hoping the long trip will be worth the effort.
Sorry I can't help you, Ducky, but Mr. Smith has been out of the country since the middle of March. He's a good-looking bloke, except for the dirt under his fingernails.
Complete waste of time.
Educational.
Okay.
Oh my god. We've also got, I guess, the criminology lab if we wanted to talk to the coroner, I think, who is also a weirdo. The Societies Club might be also a place where the Earl could be.
Okay. Did you write the name of the 2 fellows on the boat?
Yes, I did. Fami is the first one.
Okay.
And I think Al-Swad is the second one.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
A
Let's
mist
brace
seems to
ourselves.
Yeah. A mist seems to rise from the Thames as the men cross a bridge on the way to meet
Thames!
with...
The Thames!
Thames. The Thames.
Sorry, go on.
With Akram Fahmy, a handler of historical relics.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Uh-oh.
Fahmy, are you at home?
Oh, no.
Apparently so, Watson. Look.
Oh, what ghastly business. Everyone will assume the mummy has struck again.
Hardly a plausible assumption.
But it's a
This poor
different
fellow has
type of
a knife in his
murder.
back and not a scrap of sheeting about his neck.
You're very observant, Holmes.
Ring up Scotland Yard. This case is simple enough for them to solve.
Wow.
You've solved it already.
Elementary, my dear Watson. Obviously, it was the butler.
Butler? What butler?
Exactly my point. A man as wealthy as Akram Fahmy would always have a manservant about him. After the foul deed, this one obviously beat a hasty retreat.
Okay, well... He said the thing. Just... Alright, he's dead. That's...
I'm sorry, S-Duff 222. My girlfriend from across the room just said, that sounds like Simone acting, LOL.
Oh.
I really missed my... I was born too late. I should have been born in a different era, and that era is when FMVs were... I should have come of age when FMVs were being filmed, because this, I would have thrived. I was born for this.
I'm sorry. Okay. And who is our last boatman?
Al-Swad?
Al-Swad.
And then, yeah, let me just double check. Let's see. Oh, me. Holmes
sorry.
knows nothing of Al-Swad and is eager to accompany Watson to his home. Perhaps the gentleman could be of service to them.
Well, Holmes, I checked in with Mr. Al-Sad's manservant
And you discovered that Mr. Al-Sad was not at home.
But however did you know that?
Elementary, my dear Watson. I noticed some crumpet crumbs from the corner bakery stuck to your lapel. You haven't been gone long enough to stop for tea and interview anyone at length.
Most observant, sir.
Wow, okay.
So, a dead end. Interesting.
Just completely extraneous facts. Okay.
I guess that's one way to avoid continuing to be weirdly racist, is to just...
I mean, it's
have
potentially that all
mention those characters and then never bring them up again, I guess.
Yeah, it also does appear that there are 3 or 4 white actors in this game series, and that's all they can do.
I mean, they are using the entire theater department of a small town in North Carolina, Clayton.
Do better. Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Can you go back to the regulars page for me, please?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, it's in the directory.
It is in the directory. Oh no, I didn't want to do that.
No, no, no!
Sorry. Not useful. Okay, they're up here. Damn it. Well, that is gonna ding us a point.
Yeah, let's see. So Somerset House is records. Forky Shinwell is a reporter, I believe. I don't remember who Langdale Pike is. Disraeli O'Brien. I also don't remember who he is. Ooh,
I can click and see
who
who
a
they
lot
are.
of these guys are.
Oh
yeah, okay. Okay, so he works at the Office of Records. I don't think we need that.
No. Somerset House again. Births, deaths, marriages, and wills. No, don't need that. London Library feels like it could be. But
I feel like we've tried to go there before and struck out. Quentin Hogg, I think, is the coroner.
Right. Just talking to them is okay, right? Or does this hurt us too?
It does hurt us.
Okay.
I mean, we're entertaining people, so.
I want to get the high score, though.
I know. Can you check who this guy is, just to make sure?
Sorry.
Oh, police inspector. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's the reporter. Okay. No,
these guys are fun. Maybe we should just talk to them anyway.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
Holmes dispatches Watson to check on leads elsewhere as he himself hoofs over to the Police Gazette to speak with Quentin Hogg. Since the reporter loves nothing more than one-sided conversation, Holmes fears a long afternoon ahead.
Now, the thing what does strike me as odd is the passenger list of the Eastern Empress. Now, I'm not saying it has anything to do with the mummy murders, mind you, but it was a bit out of the ordinary.
What was Hogg?
Akram Farmi, for starters. He's a well-known importer, he is. For a price, a considerable price by all accounts.
Is there an accent?
You can acquire whatever one's heart
I
desires.
can't
Be
tell.
it jewels, art objects, or even wild animals, if that's what you fancy. I'd say he was on board that ship to transport something very valuable.
The presence of one high-powered importer on a London-bound vessel is hardly reason for suspicion.
Right, oh. But Abdullah Al-Saad was also on board.
Oh, yes. The well-known agent for the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire.
You never miss a trick, do you, Holmes? Well, whatever it was what Farmi was carrying, I'd say it was something those Turks wanted to get their hands on.
We already talked to both of them and there's nothing.
Very questionable. If anyone can place that accent, I'm getting Foghorn Leghorn from chat.
Yes. Sometimes
Boston
I think he was
Scorsese.
shifting. Because sometimes it sounded very southern and sometimes it sounded like he was trying to be British.
I'll
Deep
tell
South.
you what.
Do ya, Holmes?
You never miss a trick, do ya, Holmes?
Okay. Yeah, I feel like we should just talk to all these guys because they're fun. But
Oh yeah.
but what do we have? Do we have any leads where we?
I have no freaking leads. Chat.
We did
while
both of the. We did
visit-
Windibank, right?
We did Windibank. Actually, let's page through this whole thing from A to B, or A to B, A to Z. Okay, so Al-Saad is gone. Bank of England useless.
Who is sorry, I just gotta know who Johnny Bulldog is. A fucking
Oh,
nationalist.
he's a
Fuck this
racist.
guy. Known to be a bit off his nut.
All
yeah,
right.
Racist. All right.
Great. Oh wait, that's why people were talking about Kate Bett.
There is.
Because
Okay.
it's the Catabet expedition, and Kate Bett. Fucking hell.
You want to talk to Kate Bett?
We shouldn't, but maybe we should.
I think we should.
Let's do it. All right, Kate Bett, chat.
Ah, Watson's a fan.
Watson is positively giddy about the idea of meeting an actual published author. Holmes corrects the doctor, pointing out that he himself has written many dissertations.
Wow, he's a.
Pity. It appears that no one is in.
No!
However, can you tell, Holmes? There is a sign on the door that says, "We are gone for the day."
How terribly observant, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
It's such a bummer when you see that picture of a door
Bullshit.
because it means you don't get
I
to
know.
talk to them.
I hate it.
Okay.
All right. Let's go through C to D.
Okay, nothing here. Yeah.
The Clown's family, of course, potentially interesting.
Yeah, we're saving that one.
DeVries Diamonds, probably related to Nick DeVries, my son, future Formula One driver. I don't see anything else here.
No.
Let's see. Eton College, Edwards, Elephant Castle, English Archaeological Society.
There we go. Yeah, we should go there.
Yeah.
Holmes agrees that a trip to the English Archaeological Society might wrap up a line of their investigation.
This seemed to be a dead end.
Are
no
you
one
kidding
had any
me?
information that could help us solve this case.
Seriously?
I mean, I guess it's less specific than the other ones because we knew that they hired the people there. Oh, wait, wasn't there somebody else who we had? The person who discovered the body.
That was Witherspoon, I think. And he wasn't there. Let's keep going through the list.
Yeah, nothing.
Galder. Paul Hogg, Holmes. Meh. Nothing there. Imperial Theater. Let's see. Nothing here. Kangaroo Club.
We don't care about Australians.
Enough of them. I don't see anything here either. M through N. Stella Mummy. No. I mean, find out who she is. Oh, we can't search her?
Can I? Oh, I guess only some of them have that? Or just not clicking. That's weird.
Let's see. I don't see anything else here. Brian Disraeli, Old Bailey. Isadora Persano is, sorry, can you go back? One of the people who wrote into the paper. She's the wife.
Respected journalist.
Yeah. I don't see anything else here.
Consider that one.
Let's see. There might be something we missed in the papers.
We did Herman Mamsie first, right? That was one of the early ones. Yeah, we'll probably have to go back to that.
Yes. Ramsey was the first guy we did.
We did Luther, Turnbull.
I wonder if the shipping register. Oh wait, can you go visit Jardine Maton and Company?
Is this related?
Yeah, it's the
Eastern Empress. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, why not?
I don't
Important discovery. I got a Steam achievement, so this is gonna be good.
Oh.
After reading an article in the Times, Holmes hurries Watson into a carriage, believing that the time is of the essence as they head over to the shipping company.
Here is a passenger list you requested, sir.
Louise
There was
Fenwick.
new names on there. Louis Finnick.
Louise Fenwick, yeah. I'm looking at it on the stream where the delay is. Okay. Fenwick we haven't visited yet. That's cool.
Is that the only one?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's see. The Weatherbys we visited. Windbank's dead. Uruburu is fucked out.
Yeah.
Alsad's gone. Fami's dead. Travis we visited. Yeah.
There's something else that I wanted to check. I'm wondering if this is supposed to be... No. Okay.
That's funny. Can we look? Let's just look at W, X, and Y, Z just to be.
Go through it. None of these. There wasn't another Uruburu.
No.
No. Okay. Oh, I'm curious with this. Nothing on file. Okay, you're gonna.
Yeah. Whitfield.
Wait, did we?
Who is nothing on file?
What did that?
Ooh.
Was that just in the newspaper? I think it was just in the newspaper.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Rose of Sharon. That's funny. Okay, nothing here. And nothing here. All right. Louise Fenwick.
All right.
Oh,
and
a
Meryl.
couple.
All right.
Meryl.
Cap in hand, the men leave 2221 Baker Street and journey to the other side of town to visit the haughty Fenwicks. They hope for a tidbit of information.
A tidbit.
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything about the death of old
whatever his name was.
Andrew Weatherby.
Fact is, I only saw the gentleman once, just as we were boarding. And I'll tell you, I resented the first officer's questioning us on the matter, and I resent yours.
The whole voyage was a disaster from beginning to end. Our accommodations were positively abysmal. They wouldn't even let us bring Dickie into our cabin.
Dickie?
A high-strung, distasteful little mutt.
How can you say that, Merrill? You know Dickie is a blue-blooded Yorkshire Terrier. Mumsy will be with you in just a moment, Dickiekins. He's a bit under the weather, you know. That's why we were only able to stay in Egypt for 2 weeks. Dickie was so disappointed. He so wanted to see the Sphinx.
Mr. Holmes is not interested in your incessant whining, Louise.
Oh,
Wow.
now I whine, do I? There was a time you thought I had a lovely speaking voice. It's true, Mr. Holmes. He once adored me.
No doubt.
Oh, for the love of God, Louise, spare us
He's so
your
uncomfortable.
blubbering.
He's really good at being uncomfortable.
They are amazing. They are the best actors we've seen so far. That wig, yes, correct. Her cadence, I never knew where she was gonna go next. That was a journey.
Okay, I feel like I may not have absorbed that much from it because it was just such a thing. Did you get anything from it?
I absorbed nothing from that.
We're gonna play it again.
I'm sorry, but I don't know anything
Oh,
about
I
the
remember, he
death
didn't
of
like
old-
being questioned.
Whatever his name was.
Andrew Weatherby.
Fact is, I only saw the gentleman once, just as we were boarding. And I'll tell you, I resented the first officer's questioning us on the matter, and I resent yours.
The whole voyage was a disaster from beginning to end. Our accommodations were positively abysmal. They wouldn't even let us bring Dickie into our cabin.
Dickie?
Was it Luther?
High-strung, distasteful little mutt.
How
Yeah.
Luther was the
can you
first mate
say
they don't
that,
like?
Merrill? You
Yes.
know
We definitely
Dickie
talked to
is
him,
a
right?
blue-blooded Yorkshire Terrier.
Yeah. Luther Tenney.
Mumsy will be with you in just a moment, Dickiekins. He's a bit under the weather, you know. That's why we were only able to stay in Egypt for 2 weeks. Dickie was so disappointed. He so wanted to see the Sphinx.
Mr. Holmes is not interested in your incessant whining,
I should have had
Louise.
subtitles on.
Oh, now I whine, do I? There was a time you thought I had a lovely speaking voice. It's true, Mr. Holmes. He once adored me.
No doubt.
Oh, for the love of God, Louise.
Wow.
Spare us your blubbering.
Okay.
That abysmal. It's when she started talking, I was like, oh, she's actually like, I think she's doing okay. And then he so wanted to see the Sphinx.
Just on a little what was the drug of the time? The British aristocracy
laudanum?
took laudanum. I kind of want to talk to Luther again. I don't think this game does different results if you've explored, but I'm
Yeah,
kind of.
let's try it. Why not?
I also
Why
am
not?
looking at this name I wrote down very early on, J.A. Merton.
Oh.
Does that ring a bell?
That doesn't ring a bell to me at all. Does anyone in chat remember
J.M. Merton.
J.A. Merton? J.M. Merton.
J.M. Merton. It's not coming up as
Oh.
anything I can see the name of. I don't know why I wrote it down, but it's like one of the first things I wrote down.
Chutney68 wants me to be Louise for Halloween, and I also want to be Louise for Halloween.
Oh, they wrote into the paper. Yeah. It's somebody who wrote into the paper.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's where we need to go back into anyway.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I do want a quick refresher with Luther Tenney.
Let me tell you.
Right, okay.
A murder, even by a
murder?
4,000-year-old mummy, was only one odd thing in a string of bad luck on this voyage.
What sort of bad luck?
It all started with the crew, really. Seamen are a rather superstitious lot to begin with, and the idea carrying
can
about
we
a
visit
4,000-year-old mummy
the
had 'em shivering
Turkish
in the
embassy?
timbers. We almost
That's a good
picked
idea.
up
I was wondering if
one
there's somewhere where they were hanging out
Then
since
there were the
we
passengers.
couldn't talk to
A
them.
strange lot. I
Salvador.
can tell you that reporter fellow, Travis, did us no service at all with his mystic mumbo-jumbo. He and Professor Winterbank had a regular war of words going on about whatever powers this mummy was supposed to have. And there was the two Arabs.
Arabs? Interesting. Do you recall their names?
Should hope I
Which,
do.
for you
One was
newcomers,
called
we
Farm.
know it's
He
not
was
great.
carried around in
Not
a
great.
curious little box. No clue what was in it, but Farmy never let it out of his
Because is this
sight.
really a red herring?
The other
Is this
one's
whole
name
thing
was
about the
Al
box?
Saad. He
What's in the
spent most of his
box?
time
It has to be a
lurking
frickin'
about
red
watching
herring.
Farmy.
Because what would it
My
have
guess
to
is he
do
wanted
with...
that box.
Sounds like you had your hands full.
I haven't even told you about the fight yet between Mr. Weatherby and Mr. Arubaru.
Over what?
Weatherby's wife, I'd say, though they were a tight-lipped lot about it.
I see.
I did see somebody asking if we had visited both wives. Yes, we did.
The person to discover the body.
Sir, I was. Captain Ramsey sent me down to inspect the hold. And I went immediately over to them Egyptian crates. Professor Winterbank was particularly anxious about him, you know.
Could you describe the scene as you remember it?
I'll never forget it. I just made my way to the back of the hold, and I noticed at the top of them crates, the one what carried the mummy's coffin.
The one what carried the mummy?
Was raised up, kind of funny like.
I like this guy.
Coffin lid laid off to one side, and there was Mr. Weatherby, all sprawled on the floor next to a bowl of ashes. He'd been strangled by a length of the mummy's sheeting. Bloody gruesome, I tell you. Poor bloke's eyes popped out like a couple of sausages on a hot iron skillet.
Damn.
Quite a vivid picture, don't you agree, Holmes?
Right. And you reported this to Captain Ramsey straight away?
Absolutely. In fact, the captain put me in charge of the entire investigation.
And what did you discover? Did anybody have any contact with Weatherby on the night of the murder?
Not that I know of. I could account for all the crew. And the passengers were in their cabins as far as anyone knew or would say. Nobody saw anything, heard anything, or knew anything.
Okay.
Besides, Weatherby was seasick from the beginning. He stayed pretty much in his cabin all the time. Maybe that's why the lovely young Mrs. Weatherby was gallivanting about.
With Uruburu?
So
the bash.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he just said they were actually all in their cabins not doing anything, but they were in a party.
With the ashes?
According to Uruburu.
Yeah.
You know, now that you mention it, I don't recall ever seeing it again.
What, Not a Werewolf says there's English toffee in the box.
Yeah, there's also, that's a little weird detail that the ashes, like, disappeared. Not sure what it amounts to, but okay. So, newspaper time. Starting
really
at the...
something... Yeah, okay. Okay. I will try to summarize out loud, but just trying to get the information. Okay, so I'm at personal. Fitchett is looking for relatives of Jacob Fitchett, who is going to the United States, sporting live ostriches on view. Exciting. A murder in Bloomsbury.
It seems to be...
A blow to the head.
Yeah. There was a struggle. Somebody entered the second story.
That's probably
Scotland Yard's
unrelated.
on the case, but yeah.
Strange event. A gale in the Isle of Man blew a stone off a church roof. Doesn't seem relevant. Outrage over the handling of the Egypt case. Earl of Downey demands a retraction post haste. Somebody in chat did point out that like English nobility do like generally have different names from their titles. So if we can find what his actual last name is, that would be useful. Oh God, I bet we could find that at frickin' Somerset House. Okay, miscellaneous. Sorry, can you scroll back up a little bit?
Oh, sorry, up, yeah.
So I can look at miscellaneous. Pedigrees and family histories compiled from most undoubted authority. James Philippe. That could be useful for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that
J.
down.
Small and Co. Mosier's Detective Agency. We're a detective. We don't need you. Entertainment. Popular concerts. Don't need it. Drowned. 4 men in returning to Bantry. Not relevant. You can scroll down a little bit once you're done jotting down James Philippe. Useless. Oxford Music Hall. Useless. Irish Exhibition. Useless. Letters to the editor of the Times.
Some guy wants to bite cops.
He wants to bite cops. And then Queen Anne statue. Okay, so James Philippe, I think, is the only interesting part of that. Has family records, which could help us find, because I think you're really onto something with this Earl connection.
We also want to try the Turkish ambassador.
Yes.
That's on our
Let's
list. Okay.
see.
So here we've got, we got this whole thing. Was there any other names in here? London University. Yes, we know. Turnbull, Windbank, and Weatherby all end up dying.
Other deaths? Nope. That's an old guy. Robert Author. The Lions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is about the excavation.
Yeah.
It sounds, I mean, even though I don't think this game is trying to make any sort of commentary about the looting of archaeological sites by Western countries, but I think it is interesting it's here because it sounds like he's covering from the fact that they are totally just looting this for treasure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, we're not doing that. That's not what this is about.
Oh, what's it saying about the House of Lords?
Okay, where? Oh, there we go.
No, that doesn't look useful. Jeffrey Worlson. Wait. To the editor of the Times. Sir, having agonized on what it takes to have you print one of my many critical missives, I have changed my tack to say how much I love everything, even the Times.
Oh, wow.
That's funny. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we read the mysterious death, charges of murder.
Yeah. Oh, he's the lion tamer that was killed. That is, someone in chat pointed that out. That is kind of interesting that the lions and a lion tamer were killed, but I don't see how that could connect to.
God, I wish it did though.
Me too.
Okay, and that appears
Stephen Lyons is potentially interesting, the sailor who was murdered. But I think it's a red herring or just useless information.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I feel good about this.
Third paper.
Gotta wait for that to depixelate.
Oh wait, was there anything that could have left? No, none of these are leaving from the right place. Okay.
Yeah. Performing with a bear by the name of Clyde.
Oh.
Sorry, a person of French nationality was charged with performing with a bear by the name of Clyde in the public highway and causing a crowd to assemble. Okay.
Causing a crowd to assemble. Wow.
Ooh, wait, these shipping departures.
I was looking at them, but I don't think any of them are related unless there's something really complicated going on there.
Okay. Trained nurses. And then Turnbull found dead. Letters to the editor. When you have a chance, could you scroll down so I can read the letter to the editor? Thank you. Okay, that's Isadora Persano. A remarkable worm unknown to science.
Oh, okay. I feel like this is important, that in this newspaper thing about Mr. Turnbull, it does say ancient linen bandages were found upon his neck.
That feels...
I just don't know if we're getting incorrect descriptions.
I would say incorrect because but I mean maybe that one was ancient, but the others couldn't possibly have been, or they weren't strangled with them.
This says Karnak, March 4th. Do you think maybe we could talk to the journalist at the Times about this story?
Maybe. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
I'm gonna put the Times because I think we could just go to the Times. It seems like a long shot, but okay.
Castle. Man found dead at theater. Not relevant. Probably. Killed by lightning. Nope. Railway accident. Jewels. Disaster at sea. Which. Let's see. French. Doesn't seem relevant. Yeah.
Relevant.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
So we have
nothing
James
here.
Philippe in records, Stephen Lyons, sailor who died, and then the Times. Anyone in chat have
and trying to figure out the Earl's name, if we can't find it, I guess, from James Philippe.
No, yeah. Of the Clowns family, of course. Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Let's see.
Okay, James Ferguson believes in some freaky shit.
That's why you wrote down J.A. Merton.
And J.A. Merton wrote in the letter.
Yeah,
So
okay.
It's something, but it's really thin.
Yeah. Okay.
We got some marriages, we got some deaths. We got the racist writing into the editor.
Yeah. Wrecks and casualties. Jardine ship, Captain Herman Ramsey, we've visited.
Let's see. None of the archaeologist strangled around his neck. This one again says that his neck were linen bandages of the type used by the ancient Egyptians in wrapping mummies.
Chutney68 says they did say the murders might be bad publicity for the exhibit, so possibly some motive for Merton there. If he's trying to... That's interesting. Maybe we should visit Merton after all.
Well, but doesn't it have to be, if we think it's the same person committing all these murders, which maybe it's not, but if it's the same person, Ebenezer Turnbull was killed in Egypt.
That's true, yeah.
So it kind of feels like it has to be somebody who was on that expedition, if it's the same person every time. But if one of these murders, or two of these murders, were from the boat and in Egypt, and those are the two that use the ancient bandages, then the latest one could be a different person using a different bandage but trying to copycat.
That complex but interesting.
But there are the facts. The facts are there.
The facts are there. Let's see. Okay.
Okay, I don't think anything else here.
Keep scrolling.
The Jardine ship, Eastern Empress. Shipboard captain was Captain Herman Ramsey. Okay.
All right.
And Watson decided he had to be in the paper.
Yeah.
And the coffin. Okay.
Okay. So Turkish Embassy, James Philippe, Stephen Lyons, The Times, and Merton.
Do we have notes?
Man, we're doing bad. We're doing really bad this time, Clayton.
Okay, we do actually have a lot of thing here.
Yeah. Interesting. Mummy-related crime is on the rise. London is no exception, says Trilobite agent.
Yeah, okay, we gotta go. If that guy was murdered, then let's see. Turkish embassy. So I don't see anything here.
Oh, it'd be under E.
Embassy.
For embassy. Oh, I'm wrong.
Unless it doesn't exist.
I really thought
like
that they did have embassies on here. I guess so, yeah.
What is...
Okay.
Amateur Medican. Okay.
Let's do the Times then.
The Times?
Yeah.
I don't feel super good about that one, but...
Okay.
Like, I feel like we could try James Philippe first.
Okay, let's do Philippe. Oh. No
Okay.
James Philippe. Actually, well, records would be Somerset House, or
Somerset House.
Go back to the regulars page.
James Fillmore sounds interesting. Okay.
Nice.
Somerset House.
So, that would be births, deaths, and then there was another guy whose name we looked at. I think it was Langdale Pike, who worked in records. Oh no, I think it was Disraeli O'Brien. On
Here's
the regulars
Langdale
page.
Pike. I can't get any information on him. And what was the other one? Sorry.
On the regulars page. I mean, it's O'Brien, but they're both right there. It's
yes.
Disraeli O'Brien. Yes, so that's the guy who had up the records.
Okay. I mean, we like to... let's just talk to some of these guys.
We like to see him.
The detectives decide to
like
stroll
to see
to
the
the
guy.
Office of Records Department, as Watson insists the fresh air will do the investigation good. Holmes is not so sure, but humors the good doctor.
Well, Holmes, it appears we're out of luck. The clerk told me that O'Brien is off on holiday.
No!
The actor was not available. Okay, Somerset House. Let's see.
Let's try it.
A quick carriage ride takes Holmes and Watson to Somerset House. Certainly they will have information on the will of the dead man.
Mr. Turnbull apparently left what little he had to the Egyptology department at London University. And Windbank left everything to his wife Hildegard.
What about Weatherby?
Hildegard?
Ditto. Everything was left to his wife Clarissa. Although being such a young chap, it hardly seems that he had much to leave at all.
Did we?
Maybe we didn't visit his wife. I thought that we had, but maybe we're wrong.
Is that? I mean, it just says James Windabanks, but maybe that's who we talked to when we went here.
Oh, because we talked to the maid, right? At
Oh, this is wrong. Sorry, yeah.
Oh no! Oh no! That is her. Okay, so we did talk to her.
Okay.
Well, never mind then. Damn. What about Merton?
Merton. Yeah, let's see. It's gonna be a dead end.
Yeah.
Why?
They had absolutely no information.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, whatever.
Fine. All right, Stephen Lyons. All of our dead ends.
Lions?
Oh, there's nothing there. Okay. Fine.
Let's try the London Times.
Times it is.
Interesting. Okay. Ooh, on the right track. I got another Steam achievement.
Yay!
Okay. Watson hails a carriage and he and Holmes proceed to the offices of the London Times. Surely Henry, as the editor of the Times, would have some interesting news regarding this case.
It's quite amusing, all this hoopla over a mummy's curse, I must say. Not so amusing, of course, the murder of 3 Englishmen.
Have any of your reporters uncovered anything new?
Actually, I've been in Paris the past several weeks. Just returned to London on Tuesday. I've had no involvement with the writing of any of these articles. I believe they are all the work of Philip Travis.
Wait.
One of our young reporters. For a short time, he was the Egyptian correspondent.
Was he sacked?
No. He returned to London just a few days ago. I gather he was reassigned to cover the case from here because he had some familiarity with the murder in Egypt.
Do you know Travis?
No, never actually met the chap, although I hear he's a bit of an odd duck.
Thanks for your help, Henry.
Anytime. Let me know when you catch the mummy. That's one scoop I'd like to get.
Okay, well...
Huh. Interesting.
Not helpful. Mostly telling us what we already knew.
I think we should visit the coroner.
Okay. Which guy is that? Oh, that's who we just talked to. Damn it. Okay. Hog. Crime news. Not the inspector. Meek. I can't. Okay. Criminology? I guess that's...
Could be him. Oh,
I feel like the
he's
gossip guy could be useful.
Actually, yeah. And he's probably going to be fun, too.
Yeah.
And that's the bartender. Okay.
Yeah, let's go talk to our gossip columnist. Get the hot goss.
The Society's Club is not a venue that Holmes and Watson frequent, let alone belong. However, the detectives know that Langdale Pike knows what goes on behind closed doors more than anyone in London.
I know only a very little about 2 of the unfortunate gentlemen. I do recall that Turnbull was quite an eccentric chap. I don't believe he ever married, nor did he take his rightful place in London society.
And what of Windybank?
A quiet academic sort, as far as I can tell. Married to a woman called Hildegard. There was one spot of controversy that I can recall. It seems a few years back he had a run-in with the Anti-Vivisectionist League.
No, but of course.
It seems that during a lecture on the advancement of science, he spoke of the autopsy of his own pet, a recently deceased Yorkshire Terrier. Well, I can tell you the Times received a great deal of letters to the editor condemning him on that one. Even one from a Louise Fenwick, who threatened to vivisect him.
Oh, dear. Well, then I surmise it's Weatherby you know nothing about.
Well, now that you mention it, I believe he was assisting Professor Windybank in that lecture series.
Really? Dickie was a Yorkshire Terrier, Rachel. You're on to something there. That is interesting.
That's something. And then we think this is our criminologist.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Holmes has other matters to attend to. He sends the doctor to discuss what, if anything, HR has discovered about these murders.
Pettigrew wrote this book over 50 years ago, and there's still nothing better on the subject. Fascinating. Just fascinating. And what can I do for you today, Whitson?
It's Watson, sir.
Watson, yes, of course.
We're interested in what you may have learned about this mummy case.
Oh, so these days it's mummies you're chasing down with that fella Helms.
It's Holmes, sir.
This is what I said now, isn't it, Whitson?
Yes, I believe you did, sir.
Let me show you what I found so far. This is the bit of linen that was found round the neck of James Windibank. I examined it thoroughly, and it is quite old, perhaps thousands of years.
Okay.
What?
However, it is not the murder weapon.
Are you certain of that?
Aye. The linen is quite
Yes, we were
old,
right.
but it's not at all strong enough to strangle a grown man.
Very interesting, sir.
I also found something quite fascinating. Take a look through this glass. Do you see those short hairs on the fabric?
Look precisely like hairs.
Of course they look like hairs. But what kind of hairs? They're not human hairs. They're hairs. Now, look at this. This piece of linen was found round the neck of the victim on board the ship. Well, his name was Leatherby or something. It is also quite old, and on it I found more hairs.
More dog hairs?
No, my
Whoa.
dear man, monkey hairs. I've not yet been able to identify the precise species, but it's just extraordinary, isn't it?
Okay, we got multiple murderers all doing the same kind of murder.
Well, I'm not the sort of axe to jump to conclusions, Whitson, but I can assure you that neither of these bandages were the murder weapons.
Okay, what was the murder weapon? Is that important? I feel like the judge may ask us that. So I guess we haven't explained how this game works in kind of the end game. Technically, I think if I go back to the sort of front page here, so 230, and it just went up, as you see there, the spy class. It's going up because of all of the actions we've taken, specifically the ones talking to our regulars. Increase that, and this game is like golf in the sense that you want to do better by having a lower score when you go to the judge. So we're not doing great in score terms.
But it's so counterintuitive because obviously when you're playing a game like this, you want to see all the fun scenes.
Yeah.
But seeing the fun scenes makes your score worse.
Yes.
Okay. Chutney68 says, did you check out the guy who imports poisons because he might know something about murders? Both of these were strangulations, though.
Well, that's okay. That's interesting. Is it did? I thought let's look at the notebook and see if it has like conclusive.
Okay.
Explaining to us, yes, this person was killed. The man admits to putting Luther Tinney. We're constantly arguing, got in a fight. Okay.
So we did visit Weatherby, wife.
She only admits to loving her husband. Okay.
Sure.
And we learned he apparently had a liaison.
Turnbull was the Earl of Downey.
Oh, okay.
We're stupid. Okay, fair enough. And he left everything in his will to the library or the museum, the university rather.
Yeah.
At the British Museum. Windibank worked at London University.
Apparently there were hard feelings from those who were left behind.
Travis and
that's
Smith.
So yeah, that makes it seem like maybe the third murderer. There was like a third murder when they found Windibank, because Windibank is also the one with a different kind of bandage. The mummy was undisturbed.
Yeah. Interesting. He attempts to raise the spirit of a monkey. Interesting. A young lady at Mr. Smith's address. Fahmy murdered.
We don't know that that's true.
Yeah. Accidental irregular correspondence.
God, the knife is such an annoying thing. We should totally have something to pick up on from that.
I know. I guess it...
Abdullah
They're really...
al-Saud.
They're writing them out of the story.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
The murdered men left their estates to their wives. Turnbull left his to the university. I don't think inheritance is the... Because, I mean, they're not particularly moneyed people either. And then Louise has a dog.
And the wife who seems to hate her husband is the one that's alive, so...
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's true. No, there's no penalty for the loss of, besides the loss of pride for having a high score.
Does this say nothing?
Should we try to go through the... Let's try to go through the judge sequence, because I feel like we've kind of... I feel like... I don't know, there's something trickier about this one. I do think you're onto something by there being 2 murderers. I don't know why Turnbull would have originally been killed. However, I do think that there is something with Weatherby and Windibank where so many W's. One would have been killed as revenge for the dog autopsy, and another killed maybe with an attempt to resurrect him. And that they happen to be unrelated, but the second one is a copycat. So Weatherby killed on the boat with the bowl of ashes next to the body. Maybe that was an attempt to resurrect him. And then Louise Fenwick heard about this and was like, well, shit, that sounds like a great way to get rid of Windibank, this guy that I hate. That's what I feel. Mischief Full, who I glean maybe just joined, says, revenge for the dog autopsy. Attempt to resurrect him. What the hell is going on?
So yeah, I'm just opening...
Yeah, we don't know what's going on either.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these to see if something will be like, oh, maybe that's where someone we haven't been able to talk about is hanging out.
Yeah. And that I wish I could figure out
Did we talk
why
to Lawrence...
Turnbull was murdered.
Did we talk to Lawrence Feld?
Yes.
We had to, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's the one who told us about Smith and Travis wanting to go on the expedition. Delicious. Oh, I'm so hungry. I want to get takeout tonight, I think. Oh, should we talk to Mycroft?
Our brother?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a hint. Oh, hotels. Foreign dignitaries?
Oh. Foreign dignitaries?
Let's try it.
Let's do it, yeah.
Well, that's not why we're going here. I'm just annoyed.
No,
it's not a dead end. It's where an ambassador
rude.
would be. Stupid game.
Why don't they trust us? Oh, well, let's talk to our maid, our housekeeper.
Okay.
I think somebody in chat wanted to talk to her as well.
Flabbergasted.
What did you learn, Watson?
Not a thing, Holmes.
Oh, well.
No!
Testy, Holmes. There wasn't anyone about.
My humble apologies, Watson.
Okay. IJ.
Okay.
Ivy Plant Club.
I'm scrolling up in chat to see if anyone has any ideas.
Yeah.
I do think, I think double murder dog theory.
Double murder dog theory?
Is very solid.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going to call it. Late Clavis Fornius said a while ago, I love me a full-length velvet curtain in an otherwise tiny and unassuming office. Yes, I too love to cover a wall on my small, cheap sets to make it look more Victorian.
Oh, boy. Neural disorder.
Yeah, I don't got... Yeah, Dirk Pitt Rivers suggested a while ago maybe the original death was unrelated and the other two are copycats covering up some other goal. Dirk Pitt Rivers, I don't know if you said that before we uncovered the hair situation, but if you did, good call.
Yeah.
The Apollo, the gift of prophecy struck you today. I think that that is what is happening.
Yeah.
Trilobite agent importantly says, I would assemble to watch a French person perform with a bear on a public highway. That's how you get arrested. That's how you get French people arrested for causing crowds to gather, and it's not okay. I know you're not okay. Player number 3 says, my I am not looting these precious cultural artifacts shirt is bringing up a lot of questions answered by my shirt. Yeah, okay.
Okay. What's this other doctor? Maladies of the skin. Not
and the juiciest wizard with a really important message and a reminder for me. Simone's new album, Double Murder Dog Theory, drops this week. Check it totally out. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, my new album, Double Murder Dog Theory. It's a hyperpop album. It will be dropping on Spotify and SoundCloud and Bandcamp later this week. I'm super excited about this. Obviously, I've been working on it for a long time, and such a coincidence that this game is also about double murder dog theory.
Could okay. The only thing in just like randomly clicking on lots of these is Zebediah's pawn shop. Could be involved with the people selling potentially precious things.
Yeah, why not?
That's my last one.
This seems...
Yep, it's a dead end. Great. Okay.
All right, let's go to the judge.
We'll go to the judge.
Because that will at least tell us what questions we're supposed to be answering. Holmes and Watson leave 221 Baker's Street, isn't it just Baker Street? And hurry to the Queen's Court to present their case before the magistrate. No space after the period. Armed with information about the mummy murders, the detectives cut a swath through the London fog and head to the Queen's Court.
So,
okay.
Foreboding, I got another Steam achievement which said, you have unlocked all the key clues.
This is fucking funny. Nobody did any copywriting on this.
We have the clues. We can save her. I don't know who her is, but...
Believing they have solved the case of 3 dead Englishmen. Okay.
The Queen's Court now stands in order.
Okay. So,
okay, who murdered Ebenezer Turnbull?
So this had to be somebody there. And this was the one... Wait, this is the one that had the dog hair, because it's the wife, right? She had the motives, and he had the dog hair on his...
I thought that was Windibank. Turnbull didn't have anything to do with the dog autopsy.
No.
Chat?
Oh, no. I thought it... Oh, you're right.
I feel
that is
like
the one... Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's possible that... What if Windibank murdered Turnbull?
Uh-huh. Why?
Izzy Who says, big rip for the Queen and her court.
Yeah, this is the one I'm definitely the least
yeah,
sure
this
of?
is my big question mark. Nobody in chat seems to know either. It was monkey hair on the cloth, says CrazyBot. Okay, well, let's try it. Should we try Louis Fenwick?
For this is the dog murder.
That's what somebody. Oh, monkey hair on the cloth. That would be Travis. I'm sorry.
Okay, but we know Travis. Hold on. Can we back out?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Question goes here. Line 2.
Oh no. Am I stuck?
This is the first option, line 2.
I think I might have...
We've broken this.
I think I might have broken it.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
I mean... Let's say Weatherby.
I can't do anything. I can't... Okay, quick stay tuned. We're not going anywhere. I just need to hide this.
We'll be right back.
I'm not even going to mute us. We're just going to deal with this.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, closing that. Rebooting. It's fine. We're fine. You don't actually have to save any of the data in this kind of game. You can just go in and one-shot the puzzle. You can just go straight to the judge because you already know. Okay. That audio. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna double check. By going to the directory, talking to the regular, and talking to our...
Pettigrew wrote this book over 50 years ago, and there's still nothing better on the subject. Fascinating.
Oh, no.
Just fascinating. And what can I do for you today, Whitson?
It's Watson, sir.
Watson, yes, of course.
We're interested in what you may have learned about this mummy case.
Oh, so these days it's mummies you're chasing down with that fella Helms.
It's Holmes, sir.
This is what I said now, isn't it, Whitson?
Yes, I believe you did, sir.
Let me show you what I found so far.
Oh, okay,
this
that's a good
is
point.
the bit of linen that was found round the neck of James Windibank.
Okay.
I examined it thoroughly, and it is quite old, perhaps thousands of years. However, it is not the murder weapon.
Are you certain of that?
Aye. The linen is quite old, but it's not at all strong enough to strangle a grown man.
Very interesting, sir.
I also found something quite fascinating. Take a look through this glass. Do you see those short hairs on the fabric?
They look precisely like hairs.
Of course they look like hairs. But what kind of hairs? They're not human hairs. They're dog hairs. Now, look at this. This piece of linen was found round the neck of the victim on board the ship. Well, his name was Leatherby or something. It is also quite old, and on it I found more hairs.
More
Dog
hairs.
No, my dear man, monkey hairs. I've not yet been able to identify the precise species, but it's just extraordinary, isn't it?
Quite. But what do you think it all means?
Well, I'm not the sort who likes to jump to conclusions, Whitson. But I can assure you that neither of these bandages were the murder weapons.
Okay, so that's the thing. I think we actually are getting tripped up. Those seem like people planting evidence because they were not that murder weapon.
Oh.
That or the person who had the monkey hair or had the dog hair did commit the murder with a different object and then left. The other thing about those two with animal hair is those are the second and third ones. We still don't know Turnbull. That guy didn't tell us anything about
we
Turnbull.
really don't know anything about Turnbull.
So I'm trying to remember. I think we need to go talk again to our gossip guy.
Yeah.
Because he told us the thing about. I want to make sure that that was the.
That he never took his place in society.
Yes. It was this guy, right?
A Langdale pipe.
I know only a very little about two of the unfortunate gentlemen. I do recall that Turnbull was quite an eccentric chap. I don't believe he ever married, nor did he take his rightful place in London society.
And what of Windibank?
A quiet academic sort, as far as I can tell. Married to a woman called Hildegard. There was one spot of controversy that I can recall. It seems a few years back he had a run-in with the Anti-Vivisectionist League.
No, but of course.
It seems that during a lecture on the advancement of science, he spoke of the autopsy of his own pet, a recently deceased Yorkshire Terrier. Well, I can tell you the Times received a great deal of letters to the editor condemning him on that one. Even one from a Louise Fenwick, who threatened to vivisect him.
Oh, dear. Well, then I surmise it's Weatherby you know nothing about.
Well, now that you mention it, I believe he was assisting Professor Windibank in that lecture series.
Okay. I mean, that's something a little bit.
I know only a very little about...
Weatherby and Windibank were doing the lecture series.
Yeah.
Windibank has the dog lady mad at him for vivisecting his own dog. Turnbull is eccentric, but a loner. He doesn't have a wife, so it's not okay.
Caleb 314 Busto says, "Fellas, is it gay to never marry or take your place in society?" Chutney 68 with a real galaxy brain suggestion. She's pissed about the dogtopsy because Dickie is the resurrected terrier that got autopsied.
The dog was sick on the boat. Did the dog die and get resurrected on the boat?
Maybe? Did the dog die? The dog did it, says Cleric America.
Oh no.
What in the world? Okay.
So we already know now that the judge is probably going to ask us who killed this person, and this person. The three murdered. So, we also know Weatherby... No, sorry, was it Windebeck who had the fight on the boat? The fight
Weatherby had the fight on the boat
with Uruburu.
Uruburu, who was sleeping with his wife.
With his wife. And he had monkey hair on his cloth.
Yes.
Was the monkey hair on the cloth because Turnbull put it there? Not Turnbull, sorry, Uruburu.
Because he was trying to frame Travis?
Because he was trying to frame Travis, the weirdo.
The weirdo.
It's kind of obvious, but...
But
he can't have killed the guy with... Travis cannot... The monkey hair guy could not have killed with that linen, so why else was it there unless it was planted?
Yeah.
Which also means the final one was planted, and this time, I think the dog hair lady killed Windebeck.
Yes.
Because of the dog.
And put on him.
But then, who killed Turnbull?
Who the frick killed Turnbull? So he has no family, no relations. He left all his money to the university. Like, the only thing that points to for me, I mean, maybe Windebank killed him to get money for the expedition. Maybe
Oh shit, did Al-Saud because we know there might be a thing there about they were totally taking treasures back and Al-Saud didn't get like a good enough cut, or he gave it to the guy with the box.
Maybe.
Because that other guy was killed with a knife in his back.
Lunar Reach, Travis was jealous that he wasn't allowed on the Egypt trip, but then he went as a reporter, I believe.
Yes, that's a
he was
confusing
on the boat
thing
on
there.
the way back.
The journalist,
So
the journalist was there.
Our score is so bad.
It's so bad.
Can you go into... Should we look at the clue hints in the notebook?
Clue hints?
Would that be cheating?
We have to request a hit.
Ugh, I don't want to do it. No, I can't. I refuse. Okay, let's go back to the judge. Should we say that Windebank killed...
I'm just doing a quick...
Yeah. I'll be sucking on my chips.
Weatherby was assisting... So was that Weatherby's assistance of Windebeck something that could have made... No, Uruburu is unrelated, never mind. Philip Travis was writing the articles, yeah. The murdered men left their estates to their wives, who both lived.
Maybe later. Yes, thank you for the... Windebank equals dog hair, Weatherby equals monkey hair. Why did they name all the characters in this game with W?
Okay.
Clavis Fornius, resurrected and autopsy is a deeply troubling combo of traits.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like, it could be any of the 7 people on that, or I guess 6 people on that boat with Turnbull could have been the murderer of Turnbull.
Yeah.
And I feel like the game is not giving us any reason other than Fahmy died.
Yeah.
To suspect Al-Saud. But yeah, he said the butler. He said the butler did it. So we have to believe him, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So then that's just like this red herring. There's another person on the boat, but we're not going to give you any extra details about them.
Wow.
So, could Turnbull have been killed by the journalist because he didn't get picked for this cruise?
Can we go back and watch the cutscene with the guy at the university again?
Is that the one? Yeah. So that's
London
just
University.
London University.
With Feld.
Such a tragedy. Fine men all and such outstanding...
Again, look at that font. That's just straight up Arial.
I quite get over the shock of it.
We understand.
Professor, we're looking for background information on these 3 men so that we can understand how their murders might tie together.
Well, let me begin with Dr. Turnbull. Ebenezer Turnbull was responsible for organizing the Catapet expedition. Quite a remarkable man, really. This was the first time he teamed up with James Windebank. Professor Windebank was one of our most popular lecturers. In fact, several of his former students were also eager to accompany him. I recall him saying that he was having difficulty
Kate Bet
choosing.
in this game?
Weatherby turned out to be the lucky one. Though it seems far from it now, doesn't it? I suppose Smith and Travis turned out to be the lucky ones after all.
Smith and Travis?
Peter Smith accepted the invitation to join another expedition. As for Philip Travis, he was quite keen on accompanying Professor Winterbank. In fact, he became exceedingly upset when Andrew Weatherby, a postgraduate student in the department, was chosen instead. Took it rather personally, I should say.
Oh, that's annoying.
I
He
do
has
think
the monkey
he killed
hair.
Weatherby.
Huh?
Yeah. No Smoke Fire asks, did we ever get any resolution on the everyone stayed in their cabins versus I held a bash thing? Is the conclusion that they didn't have a big party, it was just fucking? I think it was just fucking. I think
Yeah, the clues straight up say they had an affair.
Yeah.
So we can believe that.
Okay.
Right. So it's
Which
4:57.
still
I
doesn't-
guess we probably just have to shoot our shot.
Let's shoot our shot.
Okay.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's Court now stands in order.
Okay.
So, Ebenezer Turnbull, we think the reporter did it because of revenge for not being chosen. No, he's
No.
mad at Weatherby for getting chosen instead of him.
I think Winterbank did it.
Okay, I don't understand why.
Money? Because he left all his money to the university.
Okay. Oh, it makes it. Oh well, he's out of the way.
It's not a very. I don't feel strongly about it.
Terribly
Oh no!
sorry, gentlemen, that is not at all correct.
Wow, the judge just knows the
Nope,
answer.
right out. We gotta get We gotta get past the hardest one. Okay.
Who the fuck?
The Queen's Court now stands in order.
I mean, actually, let's try El Sad.
I hate it, but yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just not putting us
Or-
there.
Or no. Okay. We really are brute forcing. Yes, the
Yeah.
judge does know who did it, everyone.
Yeah, he won't tell us.
The Queen's Court now stands in
He wants to
Okay,
see how good a
Rachel's-
detective we are.
Rachel thinks it was Travis with jealousy as a motive. But
Could it did Peter Smith go on another expedition, go to this one and kill him?
Smeater Pith. Yes, let's try it.
Smeater Pith. I think both are most spot, but Travis makes a little more sense. You want to go with that?
Let's try it.
Oh, okay, this is good.
Oh,
we have to say
okay.
why. Definitely not the first one.
I
think it's the
it's
second.
the second one. Yeah, although that's just a line of questioning that we didn't get into at all. But yeah, I think that's it.
Oh fuck.
Fuck you.
Okay. Is it? I can't remember if this is like.
So sorry, we're brute forcing our way through the end of this case. Everybody.
Yeah. Is it just Clarissa?
No. Because Uruburu was the one with Clarissa.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's go for the third one.
Okay, interesting. I guess that's it.
Weatherby, I think, murdered by Travis as well. Because of he was jealousy and the
Yep.
The last one.
Okay, seems like that was right.
Perfect.
Okay, and now
then
we think it's
Winterbank,
we think this is the
Louise Fennick.
Finnick. That's it. The last name Finnick. Oh, fuck off.
Damn it!
Terribly
Come
sorry,
on!
gentlemen, that is not at all correct.
We were so close.
Is it Travis the
Is it
whole
Travis
way?
again? Is he a serial murderer?
Oh my god. Okay.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
The Queen's Court now stands in order.
Okay. Hopefully I remember all these.
This is Bobby Remembers. Turnbull wrote into the paper criticizing Travis's reporting. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Fuck that. Damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Travis lambasted his credentials. Okay.
Yeah.
That did happen. Travis Phillip. Didn't get chosen. Okay. And now. The thing is this one expands to could have been a lot of people. But why?
True.
Because it's not. It's at the museum now, and they literally said like anybody could have gotten in there. Could Peter Smith? No, he's not back yet. Never mind. It can't be Peter Smith.
I think it's got to be Travis again. Like, because unless it's one of again,
Maybe we'll
like
try it. Okay, I guess it is.
Yes, this freaking guy. I think again because not chosen for the expedition.
And not an experiment.
Because he didn't experiment with him. He did that with Weatherby and the whole.
Or ridiculed him.
Oh, they did fight about that on the boat. Yes.
He doesn't like ridicule.
Yes.
Fuck.
Damn it!
Sorry, gentlemen.
It's the second one then. It's the second one. Trilobite agent. Shocking twist. The magistrate did all the murders because he gets lonely sitting in that court all day.
Just like the idea of
the Queen's Court now stands in order.
Sherlock is in the court. He's like, is it this guy? No. Okay. What about this guy? Okay.
The thing is,
Travis.
I think that's bullshit and misleading because it said that Windibank and Travis fought on the ship about mysticism. And like, he wasn't picked, but they also fought about mysticism. So
it's gonna be the resurrection thing. Watch. Well,
you've done an admirable job.
I guess we did it.
Have we?
Mystery. I'd say you're on a par with just about any other armchair.
Yeah, probably.
I would suggest, however, that you rethink this case again, thereby improving your sleuthing skills.
Clavis Fornius says, has the odd duck loner been experimenting with other men? And also, what's his number?
Perhaps we are in the wrong business altogether. If we had been top-notch, we should have...
Let's look at Holmes' solution.
I think I'll ring up the university immediately and see if we might enroll in a detective.
Yeah, fucking tell us.
Well, Watson, I believe this case is solved. And for your information, it was not the mummy.
Come, Holmes. I never thought for a moment it was the mummy.
Of course not, Watson. However, the murderer and the mummy did have one thing in common.
What's that?
They both were the only ones present at the time of the murders, except, of course, the victims.
You state the obvious, Holmes.
Ah, but it is seeing the obvious that is important. First, I saw no reason to assume that we were dealing with more than one murderer.
Why?
Secondly, the locations of the murders limited the number of suspects.
Limited them? The first murder was in Egypt, the second on ship in the middle of the sea, and the third in London. You call the entire populations of London and Egypt a limited number of suspects?
No, Watson. We had to find someone who was in Egypt for the first murder, on the ship for the second, and in London for the third.
Oh, but of course.
Why the...
According to the newspapers, the Eastern Empress was in Bombay at the time of Ebenezer Turnbull's murder, so that eliminated the ship's crew as suspects. Thus, I needed the list of passengers who boarded the ship at Cairo. It was our visit to Jardine, Mason and Company that provided our first critical clue. From it, I learned that Philip Travis was a passenger. I then learned that Travis was the chap who reported on the first murder. He became one suspect, but I had no motive. Clarissa Weatherby, who was also at the scene of the murder in Cairo, was another possible suspect, since she appears to have had a bit of a dalliance with Mr. Uruburu there on the high seas. So I had found her motive for the murder of Weatherby, but not a motive for the murder of the others.
Then whom did you eliminate?
Mrs. Weatherby. Her hands were not strong enough even to open a jar of English toffee, let alone strangle a grown man.
And what of Travis's motive?
It seems that Travis was a student in the Egyptology department at London University and had studied under James Windibank. He wanted very badly to be chosen as a member of the expedition, but Windibank turned him down. Instead, Weatherby was chosen and Travis was furious. So there you have the motive for two of the murders.
And what of his motive for the murder of Turnbull?
Evidently, Travis had written a vicious article questioning Dr. Turnbull's credentials to lead the expedition. Turnbull's response was quite harsh. Probably powerful enough to drive an odd duck like Travis to murder.
Very impressive, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
They're not going to talk about the dog hair.
Nothing about the dog. The dog autopsy.
Just
was
a red herring. Yep.
That's bullshit.
Which is how this game goes.
Wow.
Holmes' score was 35.
That's crazy. He visited like 2 people. He visited the shipping office and the university and read the newspapers, I think. Zelo S says, I don't think the dog is a herring. Wow. I do feel like this one is the weakest of the 3 that we played.
Yeah. It was the one that... I mean, it just felt good in the last one we played where we actually just got it. We figured it out and were able to enter the data the correct way the computer wanted.
Yeah.
But
felt
it's,
like I was seeing through time.
These are about the journey and the
They
horrible, incredible FMVs that go along with it.
Incredible cutscenes.
And I think I saw somebody was saying that there was I wrote it down with all the other clues. Let me see if I can even find it. But there are some detective games called from Tim Shaman, something like that. But yeah, we'll try to find some other detective mysteries we can do in a couple hours. Try to play some more of these.
I like detective mysteries.
But thanks for joining us. Real quick, I have a new video.
Oh, it's after 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Talk about your video.
I have a video on Polygon you should check out. It might be relevant to some of you if, while you were joining us today, you were also playing a video game. Oh, I need to join. What the frick? I need to log in. Oh my god. I can't.
What are you logging into? Do you want me to drop the link in?
Yeah, if you have it. I'm not logged in on the computer. I've got the link.
I'll do it. Polygon.
But I made a video
right now.
And it's about the way we play games today, which for many of us is while we're doing something else. And that can be, I mean, I know some people said they did chores, did laundry while they played a game, but a lot would watch something or listen to a podcast or even play another video game. And it was nice. I went into it knowing I wasn't alone in this, but it was really interesting talking to people. I talked on Twitter. I found some forum polls. The people talked about this phenomenon, and even my coworkers, a couple of whom I'm interviewed for the video, to kind of get the full spectrum of people who do this all the time and can only do it, basically. I know former Polygoner Allegra Frank is also this way.
She invented multitasking.
Yeah. And then we have people, like our good pal Samit Sarkar, who cannot do this at all. So it's like, even if you are not someone who does this, I hope the video is interesting to understand why some of us do. And then I try to give recommendations of games you can play this way, some of which I only discovered because I made this video, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, check that video out. Check out our TikToks. We are constantly updating. Tina was not feeling well today. And Pat was on vacation, so they should both be back for next week.
They're gonna kick us out.
Yeah.
They're gonna wrest control of the stream away from us.
We're gonna do this again. We're all set up for it now. It's our favorite kind of game to play together, so we'll make it happen.
Yes, we do love it. And if you have any other mystery game suggestions for us, please you can tweet at us. I'm at DoomQuasar on Twitter, and Clayton is at Clayton_Ashley. We love these things. We played now all 3 Sherlock Holmes games. Hand with Many Fingers. That was great as well.
Oh, that was perfect. That was the thing that kicked this all off.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, and somebody got it. Tim Scheinman. Detective.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Cool. Thank you everybody for coming. Have a good rest of your week. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for helping us solve the mystery, everyone.
Thanks for helping. We solved it. We did it one time.
We did it.